DreAllDay.com.
Now this topic is something that actually kind of related to basketball, because the day that I'm recording this video, I had just put out a video on my main channel talking about a basketball tournament that I had put a team in for, and they actually had to choose like the final group of teams to get into the tournament, and my team didn't get chosen. And something that I was disappointed about. But the topic of this video is not really about basketball, it's just about in life in general. When you put yourself in a position where somebody has to make a decision, make a choice of whether to choose you or not choose you, and you end up not being chosen, how you can deal with that situation. Because I hear that from a lot of young people, and it's a situation I had myself growing up. Like for instance, when I was in like 3rd grade, you know how they have like class president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. I ran for like one of the offices and I lost. And I remember I came home and my mom was asking me about it, like, did you win, or who won, and what happened, and all that stuff. And I started crying because I was upset that I didn't get chosen. I didn't get voted on by the rest of the students. They voted for someone else who was more popular than me, basically. And as life has gone on over the years, you're talking about elementary school, middle school, high school, you're going to come into situations, especially when you get into the quote-unquote real world, like past college. Once you get over age 18 or 21, depending on what you do with your life, you go to school or whatever you decide to do, there are going to be many situations in life where you're going to put yourself in a position where you feel like you're qualified to get a certain title, but there's someone who has to decide that you deserve that title. For example, people always ask me stuff like, yo, why don't you play in the NBA, or why don't you play in the D-League, or why don't you play for this team, or why don't you go do that? You have to understand that when you put yourself in a position where somebody is deciding, for instance, any job in the world, anywhere in the world you apply for a job, the person who does the hiring has to decide, no matter how qualified you are, how much better you are than everybody else who applied for the job, or how long your resume is, somebody still has to say, we want you to have this job. If they don't make that statement, if they don't make that decision, you don't get the job, no matter how much qualifications you got, no matter how much of a resume you have, no matter what you've done in the past or what you think you're going to do in the future, and how much better you are than the person that they did choose. So what you have to understand in life is that nowadays, the positions that we are in life, with the way the internet has exploded everything, like for example, we right here on YouTube, you're able to create your own lanes in life nowadays. You can create your own lanes where you can start your own businesses, you can build your own brand, you can build up your own name. You can do all of these things without anyone's approval. You don't need anybody to say, okay, you deserve to have a website, or okay, you deserve to create this product and sell it, or okay, you deserve to get on social media and share with how you feel, your thoughts, your feelings, emotions, things you want to write about, things you want to talk about, things you want to share, and people are going to flock to you and build a name for yourself. Nobody has to give you permission to do that. You don't need to wait for permission nowadays. Back in the 90s when I was growing up, I was born in '82, so in the 90s when I was in my teenage years, anything you wanted to do, you needed permission from somebody. And I don't mean like from your mom or your dad or your teacher or something like that. I mean permission such as if you wanted to be a rapper, right? In the 90s, the only way you could be a rapper is if you went to some record label, you rapped for them, or you showed them some songs you made, you gave them what they used to call a demo tape, and they would say, okay, we want you on our label, or they would say, no, we don't want you. And if they said no, you couldn't put your album out. There was no way to put an album out unless somebody signed you. But now, if you look at the rappers that's out, a lot of rappers don't even go to major record labels. Now they just say, you know, I'm gonna put my own stuff out on MySpace, you know, MySpace Music, or they just build up their websites. Y'all follow them on Twitter or Instagram. They just put their stuff out independently, make a little bit of money off their small fan bases, build their fan bases up, and then all of a sudden they're a big name. And a lot of rappers did that. Drake is a good example. He ended up going to a big label, but he built his name up just putting his own stuff out. He just took a little bit of money, paid for the studio time, built his own name. Jay-Z was a guy. Jay-Z went to so many record labels trying to get on. Nobody wanted to sign Jay-Z. As great as he became, as much money as he made, many albums he sold, nobody had that vision except him and his partners. He finally got a company to do a deal with him, a 50-50 type of deal. He put one album out, then everybody liked it. Then everybody started coming to him like, yo, Jay-Z, Jay-Z, Jay-Z. It's the same thing for all of you out there. You don't have to be in the entertainment business. You don't have to be an athlete. You don't have to be a rapper. You don't have to do anything that people get famous for doing. Entertainment business, when people get famous, they get fame, they get notoriety. They're known by people who never met them, just because people like that entertainment, whatever field they're in. You don't have to do that. If you want to be a lawyer, if you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a dog trainer, if you want to be a nanny, you want to be a babysitter, you want to be a landscaper, anything that you want to do, you don't need anybody's permission. Nobody has to hand you the job. You can go out and make your own lanes. All you have to do is take your abilities, perform your abilities, and share what you can do with other people. That's all you got to do. Now, does anybody out there need permission to do any of that? No. If you're a landscaper, all you got to do is go do some landscaping, get testimonials from people you work for, go ask somebody if you could do their lawn for free one time just to see how good your work is. And when they say your work's good, share that with the masses. All of a sudden now you got credibility, you got notoriety, you have a name, you exist now. You can make yourself exist. Nobody has to hand you existence these days. So when you're in a position where you're trying to get a gig and somebody doesn't give it to you, you don't have to complain about it. You can go and create your own gig, do it your own way, and then watch as they come back to you later on while you keep putting in the work. And at that point, you know what happens? It flips around. Now you get to choose whether they get with you or not. Now you're the one who's choosing and not the one who's being chosen. So hopefully that, I know that was a lot that I was putting out there. I kind of said a couple things multiple times, but hopefully y'all understand through the different examples that I gave that in this life, the world that we're in right now, 2014 and beyond, you don't have to wait for anybody to give you permission to do anything. You can do it yourself. All you got to do is take the initiative and believe in yourself and just put it out there and see what happens. What's the worst that's going to happen? Work on your game.